In today's video, we are going to be coding up this house scene using Python's turtle module. To get started on this today, you will need to open up your Python editor. In my case, I'm going to be using Mu. And the first thing we need to do is we need to write from turtle import star. Now what this line of code is saying, it's saying from the turtle module, which is a library of code written by somebody else, we're going to import all of the code inside of it. That's what that little star means. And now we've got access to all the different functions written by somebody else that will allow us to draw images on the screen using Python code. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do today is I'm going to set my speed to 0. Alright, what that does is just make sure the Python turtle is drawing nice and quickly. Okay, it's the quickest speed it can draw at. Okay, save us waiting around for it to draw shape slowly. We'll just make it draw quickly. The first thing I want to put onto my page today is the grass. So I'm going to put a comment into my code that says grass. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to simply call up a function called bgcolor. So that bgcolor function comes from the turtle library. Okay, and all we need to do now is open up a set of brackets and quotation marks and pick a background color. And I'm choosing green for the grass. Now you don't have to choose green, you could choose a variation of green. So you can see here, these are all the different greeny kind of colors that Turtle has on offer for you. Okay, so feel free to pick one of them if you don't think green here is suitable. Alright, if you want to look up all the different colors you can use in Turtle as well, just go to Google and do a Google search for Python Turtle colors and you'll get a list like this. Alright, back to Mu now. We've got our grass in. I'm just going to save this document called house and run my code, and you'll see you've got a green background. That's the start of our scene. Just for the record, this little black dot thing in the middle of the page here is your turtle. Okay, it doesn't look like one, but that is the turtle. That is going to draw shapes on the screen for us. Okay, we'll hide it later on. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the sky. So let's put in another comment here that just says sky. And first of all, I want to move my mouse cursor to the starting position. I don't want it to start drawing in the middle of the page. I want it to start over the left-hand side of the page. So I'm going to have to lift my pen up off the page and then go to a set of coordinates. I'm going to go to minus 400 on the x-axis, so that's moving to the left. And then we're going to go to minus 100 on the y-axis. That's just moving down a little bit on the y-axis. Okay, from there, I can then put in the function pendown. Just to quickly explain the pen up and pen down thing, you've got to imagine that little turtle that we saw on our screen before is like a pen, and it's sitting on the page. If you were to move that pen across the page to a new set of coordinates, it would drag a line with it. So that's why we need to lift our pen up off the page so we can go to those coordinates without drawing any lines. When we get to the coordinates we need, we can put the pen back down on the page ready to start drawing. So once the pen is down, we can set our color up for the sky. So I'm going to choose aqua for the sky color. And as I said before, you don't have to go with aqua. You can choose one of these other bluey kind of colors that Python has on offer. There's plenty of nice ones there. Deep sky blue and those sort of ones look pretty nice. The sky blues, they look nice in scenes like this. I might actually do that. Let's do a deep sky blue. That might look a bit better than aqua. Once you've set your color, you need to turn on a function called begin fill. Because we're about to draw some lines. We're actually going to draw a rectangle. And when we draw those 4 lines, we want it to color in what's inside of those lines. So by turning on a fill color, it will fill in the shape that we draw. Okay, so let's draw that shape now, which is going to be a rectangle. We do it by just creating a quick for loop. So I'm just going to write for I in range. I'm going to do 2. And the first of my loop is going to draw a line across the screen 800 pixels. I know my screen is 800 pixels wide, so that's why I am drawing a line all the way across the screen. When we get to the other side of the screen, we're going to turn left, so we're facing upwards, 90 degrees. We're then going to go forward 500 pixels. So we're going right to the top of the page now. And then we're going to turn left again, so it'll swing us back around so we're facing back to the left-hand side of the page. Okay, that is all we need to draw the rectangle. Because we're repeating this code twice, these 4 lines will draw the first half of the rectangle. The code will loop back around and run those 4 lines again to finish off our rectangle. The last line of code now is outside of the loop, so just push your cursor back to the left-hand side of the page and just write end fill. and that stops our rectangular shape from being filled in. Okay, that is our sky done. So let's save it and run it, and we should see a nice blue sky on top of the green grass. So we've got our background looking pretty good. I think we could add a few more elements to that background though to make it look a bit more interesting, I guess. First thing I'm going to throw in is the sun. Okay, so I'm just going to make a bit of room at the bottom here. I'll put in another comment called sun, and I'm going to lift my pen up off the page to go to a new set of coordinates. So let's go to a new set. I'm going to go to minus 320. So again, we're on the left-hand side of the page on that x-axis. And if I want to go up into the sky, I'm going to have to go up in the positives on the y-axis. So about 225 will look good. I'll put my pen back down on the page once I'm in position. I'll choose my color that I want to use for the sun. So I'm going to choose yellow. That's a pretty obvious one. And once we've got the color set, we should be good to start drawing. So let's turn our fill on and draw a circle. So just write the word circle, and we'll set the radius to 35 pixels. So nothing too big. Once that circle is drawn, we'll end the fill, and that should be our sun all finished. So let's save it and run it. And there we go, we've got the sun in the sky. That little tail kind of thing you can see just there, that's just the turtle that I was talking about before, that little black thing that we saw in the middle of the page. It's now yellow because we've changed the color, and it's just sitting there ready for the next movement that we make. And as I said before, we will make that turtle disappear at the end. Alright, so now that we have got our sun in, let's add a cloud in the sky. If you want to add multiple clouds, you can, but just to save a bit of time, I'm just going to draw one cloud in the sky. Okay, so let's take our pen up off the page, and we're going to go to the coordinates 200, 200. Okay, so that's to the right-hand side of the page and up in the sky. We'll put the pen down. We'll set the color to white. Turn our fill on like we did before. We'll make a circle, 25 pixels, and end that fill. Okay, that's the start of my cloud. Let me just show you what it's doing so far. Okay, so we put a circle in the sky. What my plan is for this cloud is to overlap a few white circles. Okay, and a bunch of white circles will actually look like a cloud. So I'm going to copy and paste what I've just done. So that line there, or that section of code, sorry, I'm going to press Ctrl-C to copy. Just come down below and paste it in again. And the only thing I need to change is the coordinates. I'm going to make it 220 and 240. So kind of close by to that original circle that we drew. All right, one line of code that you could get rid of is this white here. We don't need to rewrite that because the color is already white up here. So let's run that and have a look. Okay, we've got our second cloud, second part of the cloud in. Not finished yet though. Still looks a bit funny. So let's copy that code and paste it in yet again. And we're going to put some new coordinates in close by. Let's go 230 this time and 215. Run that. Starting to come together. I reckon one more circle and we'll probably have it looking pretty good. So let's just copy this section of code one more time. We'll change these coordinates a little bit lower. 180, 225. That will probably do us. Let's save it and run it. There we go. 4 circles overlapping each other, and we've got what looks like a bit of a cloud in the sky. I reckon a few clouds would look good, but just to save time, I'm just going to do the one cloud for now. Okay, so that there is how you do a cloud, by making one white circle and then overlapping a few other circles on top of it. Alright, so we've got the background looking good. We've got the sky, sun, the cloud, the grass. I think it's time we start drawing the house. Okay, so let's go to the bottom of our page again. I'm going to put in a comment. We'll draw the main part of the house first. So let's lift our pen up off the page and we'll go to a new set of coordinates. We'll go minus 100, minus 100 to start this house. We'll put our pen back down on the page. Now I'm going to put a border around my house. and I want to make it a little bit thicker than usual. So I'm going to change my pen size here to 3. The usual size is size 1, which is fairly skinny. You wouldn't really see the border that well on pen size 1. So if we turn the pen size to 3, it just makes a thicker border, 3 times thicker than size 1. And now the colour we want our house. We're going to do 2 colours here. The first colour we put in is going to be the border colour or the stroke colour of the house. And then the second colour I put in is going to be the fill colour of the house. Just so you remember that, I might put a comment in there that says stroke, comma, fill, just so you know the order in which those colours are coming, just in case you want to refer back to it later. We're now ready to turn our fill on, so let's begin the fill. And we're simply going to draw a square. So I'm going to do a for loop here. So for I in range 4. We're going to repeat 2 lines of code 4 times to get a square. We're going to go forward 170 pixels. We're going to turn left 90 degrees. And those 2 lines of code there, if we run them 4 times, which is what this loop is saying, we will get a square with 4 sides. Okay, when you're done, you can just end that fill off. Just bring that code back up there. And that should draw the main part of our house, that square that makes up the main body of the house. So let's save it and run it. And there you can see we've got a chocolate coloured border, and we've got the orange fill colour. Okay, it's 170 pixels on each side. It's a pretty good size, so I'm happy with that. Let's keep rolling. Let's get we'll get the roof put on the house. Actually, no, we'll put a chimney in place first. Actually, I was just thinking the chimney will need to come first because the roof has to go on top of it. All right, that'll make a bit more sense in a moment. So let's draw a chimney out in the middle of the sky. So put in a comment that says chimney, and on the next line, lift your pen up off the page. We'll go to a new set of coordinates of 20 on the x-axis and 130 on the y, and we'll put our pen back down on the page. Once we're down, we'll change our colour to a brown stroke colour, which is the border, and a fire brick for the colour of the chimney. Once you've got that, we're ready to begin the fill. So turn the fill on, and let's start creating this chimney. We're going to use a loop again. We're going to do a rectangle shape, so we're going to need to repeat this code twice. So for I, in range 2. Okay, and inside of that loop, we're going to go forward, say 40 pixels, throw a left-hand turn in, and go forward 100 pixels, and then just turn left one more time. You can then end the fill, and that there should have a chimney basically drawn in the sky. So it's going to look a bit odd. There it is up there, but we're going to draw a big triangle roof in a moment that's going to go on top of that chimney. So the chimney will appear a little bit behind it. Okay, so that's our chimney done. As I said, we'll do the roof now. Now for the roof, we need to do the usual pen up, go to the new set of coordinates. The coordinates we want to go to, pretty specific here. We've got minus 127 and 70 on the y-axis. And we can put our pen back down. Once our pen is down, I'm going to leave the same colours that we had for the chimney. So I don't need to write them in again. They're still set from before, so we'll leave them as they are. We might as well just turn our fill on. And once our fill is on, let's make a loop. We're going to do a triangle. So let's do for I in range 3. Okay, so I'm going to repeat this code 3 times. We're going to go forward 225 pixels and turn left at 120 degrees. Okay, if we times that by 3, we get 360. Which will make a pretty good looking triangle. It's an equilateral triangle with all sides exactly the same at 225 pixels. Don't forget to put in the end fill at the bottom of that loop. That should have us a triangle above our house. Let's have a look. Nice. Okay, so you can see that the roof came in on top of that chimney, so the chimney just hides behind it, and that looks pretty good. So our house is coming together. Time to add a few finer details onto the house though now. We probably want to throw in a couple of windows first and then a door to finish off with. Okay, so the roof is done. Let's write in, we'll do 2 windows. So let's do window 1 first of all. So window 1, let's lift our pen up off the page and go to the starting position, which is going to be smack bang in the middle of the page, 0, 0. And we'll put our pen back down once we're at the starting points. The colours I want to use for the windows is a black border with a white fill colour. Once the colour's set, we can turn the fill on. And let's create a loop for I in range 4. We're drawing a square here for the windows, so we can repeat this code 4 times. We're just going to go forward 50, and each corner is going to be a left-hand turn at 90 degrees. Don't forget to end the fill at the bottom. Okay, that's going to draw the outside of our window. So let's have a look. Okay, not bad. We'll put a little cross through the middle of it in just a moment to make it look a bit more like a window. But that's the outside of it. So to do the cross, a little bit fiddling around, won't take us too long though. So let's put in window 1 cross as our comment. And we'll do pen up, and we'll go to the next set of coordinates, which is going to be 0 and 25. Put our pen down, and we'll just make the colour black. What we're going to do is go forward 50 pixels. Okay. Let's just have a quick look at that. We should have the first line going through the window. Looks good. We want one going vertically down as well. So let's do that one while we're at it. Window 1, I might call this horizontal line. So window 1 cross horizontal line. Let's just copy this code because it's going to be pretty similar. Paste it in below. We'll call this one window 1 cross vertical line for the comment. We're going to lift our pen up and we're going to go to 25, 0. Just switch those coordinates around. The color should already be set, so we don't need to have that again. So put the pen down and just go forward 50, and it should just draw a line straight through the window. Whoops, that didn't do what I wanted it to do. What did I miss there? Oh, I need to turn, that's right. Still going horizontal. We need to turn, oops, just below that pen down, we need to turn left 90 degrees. My mistake. Let's try that. See if we have any luck. There we go, that looks a bit better. Alright, so that's one window done. We need to repeat that all again for window 2. So we could copy and paste here. Might get a bit confusing, but let's do it. I'm going to zoom back a bit here. I'm going to copy everything from window 1 all the way down to the bottom of where I had those crosses. Let's copy it. Paste in a bit lower. Okay, and what we're going to do first of all is change the comments to say window 2, window 2, window 2. Okay, now let's just go back through and change a few coordinates, and hopefully this is going to work for us. So the start of window 2 we've got to go to. It needs to be minus 80 this time. We're going to have to move to the left a little bit. The y-axis will stay the same. Now once our pen's down, we're going to need to turn right 90 degrees to get us facing the right way. The colours are all good. The loop should be pretty much the same. So let's leave that as it is. Now the window cross, pen up, we're going to go to minus 80 and 25. If we leave all that the same, it should be okay. Looking at the bottom bit, we're going to go to minus 55 on the x-axis here. Y value will stay the same. We will need to turn left at 90 again. We've got that. I think we're all good. So let's test that second window. See if our copy and paste job worked. You beauty, it did. Okay, so that just leaves us with a door and a door handle to finish off with. Alright, so let's get into it. So let's put a, actually I'll just get rid of this space I made up here. So window 2 can go back up near window 1. Let's make a bit of new space at the bottom here. Put in a comment that says door. So we'll do the door frame first of all. So we need to go pen up and go to a new set of coordinates. So we'll go minus 40 and then minus 97 just to be specific. We need to turn right at 90 degrees, get our turtle facing the right way. And actually I might put the pen down first, then we'll turn right. So pen down first, then we'll turn right 90 degrees. Once the pen is down, we're in position, we can change our colour to whatever colour you want the door to be. I'm just going to go red. Remember, you can add 2 colours if you want a border around the door. Okay, I might just leave it off for the minute. And we'll turn our fill on. Okay, so let's draw this rectangle for the door. Like before, we'll just do a loop. So for I in range, we're going to repeat the following lines of code twice. We're going to go forward 50, throw a left-hand turn at 90 degrees, and go forward 80 for the longer part of the door, and then turn left 90 degrees again. That's the first half of the rectangle drawn. We'll just loop back around and repeat those 4 lines of code a second time. That's why that for loop is telling us to do it twice. Once you're done there, remember to jump out of the loop and end your fill, and you should have the frame of the door done and filled in. So let's have a quick look. Okay, there's our door there. Remember, if you think that looks funny without a border around it, by all means go and add a second colour in here. So I haven't added one in yet. Maybe dark red would look good. So let's add in dark red and see if that looks any better. It's up to you if you want to include that border around the door. It doesn't look too bad, but I was just thinking it looks a little bit funny at the bottom there. That's why I left it off. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that off on mine. Feel free to leave it on yours. Okay, now the last thing I want to whack on the door is a door handle, which is just a little circle. So let's just bring our pen up and go to the position for the door handle, which is going to be minus 30 and minus 60. And we'll put our pen down. The colour I want my door handle is going to be black. No border either, it's just a fill colour this time. Turn our fill on, and all we're going to do is draw a circle that has a radius of 5 pixels. And we're going to end that fill. Alright, let's save it and have a look. Beautiful. So that's our house drawn. Now the issue with the handle there is it still has that little turtle sitting over the top of it. Remember I said we were going to get rid of that earlier on in the piece. So let's hide that turtle now by simply saying hide turtle down the bottom. That function there will just make it disappear. And one other thing I'm going to add in here is called exit on click. So that means when we click on the page, our program will just shut down. Okay, so let's save it, run it. We should have the perfect house drawn now. You can see the turtle is disappeared, so it doesn't ruin our image anymore. And if I click once anywhere on the screen right now, it closes off the program. Okay, so we are done. 170 lines of code isn't too bad in just over 20 minutes. But that is how you draw yourself a little house scene using Python's turtle module.